human rights-based approach in Uganda's election. So how do we integrate those two aspects? One, we shall look at human rights-based approach. Also, we shall look at electoral laws. So, and I'll do this presentation with my colleagues in Uganda. In case you have questions, you feel free to ask them. People behind, can you hear me well? Yes. Yeah. So, objectives at the end of this session, we shall understand human-based approach. We shall also look at electoral laws, understanding basics of elections in Uganda. We shall also look at integrations, that is human rights and how they work. We also look at promotions, that is fairness and accountability. So we can go. So in layman language, what is human rights-based approach? Human-based approach, we can look it in the way of how people vote, or we can look at their rights. When it comes to democracy, we can integrate it with how people vote. So, ways of making sure that everyone's rights are respected, it is key when we talk about human-based approach. It also looks at understanding the accountability of our leaders. We hold our leaders accountable in whatever they are doing. We also look at fairness, meaning we need a platform where there is no discrimination. Say the disabled are also considered in planning. Their rights can have freedom to express. Continue to another page. So we have key principles of human-based approach. One of it is equity. So this session is going to be participatory. So you are free. You can give me in your own understanding what is equity. How do you understand by equality? Anyone who can describe equality to us? You may not consider what I gave on my presentation, but you can make it easy, either in a local language for people to understand very well. Equality in Swahili. How can I say equality in Swahili? Yeah.
So equality, it means giving everyone the same opportunities. In Kiswahili, it means usawa.
Usawa?
Usawa.
Usawa.
Yes.
So meaning everyone should be treated fairly. No discrimination, everyone's rights is considered, so can look at equality. Equal participation, all people should be able to take part. When it comes time for voting, all people should participate. And accountability, look at leaders. Leaders must explain their actions and decisions, especially during campaign time. They should express their manifestos to us so that we make decisions whether to vote these people or don't vote them, depending on their manifestos. Transparency, information should be open and clear. So when we talk about human-based approaches, you can't leave transparency in whatever we are doing. So why human rights-based approach matters in elections? So in our case study like Uganda, we ensure that elections are a right to everyone. So no one, provided you are 18 and above. In Uganda, to be eligible to vote, you have to be 18 and above. So provided you are 18 and above, you are entitled to vote, you have that right. So everyone should be allowed to vote freely. They should not put you on ground to vote. But these ones are approaches, but on ground we found things are different. So we shall have some cases or some examples on how things done in Uganda. Sometimes we have violation of human rights, we have. So all political candidates should have equal chances, provided you are qualified for a position. You present your papers, the electoral commissioner or that body should allow you to contest. So also human-based approach helps stop discrimination, bribery, and voters intimidation. So I'll give a chance to my colleague from Uganda to say something on those human rights matters. Are they applicable in Uganda? Are we following them? You can give the picture to the audience. Which one are we following?
I think for Uganda, it's like we talk about human rights. Yes, civil society are talking about human rights, but when it comes to government and those in power, either they understand, but they are just not bothered about putting them into practice. When we go into an election, it's a military operation. In that, it is the state, it's the state descending violence to civilian. So I think for me, being that I've been in this space as a candidate and as someone in civil society, the state just keeps a blind eye about human rights. I don't know what's happening in Kenya, but for us in Uganda, it's totally a bad thing, and we are heading to an election where everything now has started to unfold. Kidnaps, arrest, detention, and the military detains you, they kidnaps you, and someone goes on Twitter and said, I'm having him in the basement. And no one like really tells. So they have power, they have the gun. So I think for us, when it comes to issues of human rights, it is still lacking. But when it comes to issues of paper, yes, we talk about it, but putting them into action, especially those in power, it's really lacking a lot. That's what I can say.
Okay, thank you so much. So you can get a picture from all sides. So we have key election rights in Uganda. What do we consider as our election rights? So we have a right to vote, as we have said. So go back. So yeah, the key election rights in Uganda. We have the right to vote. Provided you are 18 and above, you can choose a leader of your choice. So, but I have a scenario that recently happened in our election. There was primary elections for one of the party, that is NRM. I think, are you aware of NRM in Uganda? It's a ruling party. It is the one in power, NRM. So they had their nominations for the leaders who will contest. But my worry, or what made the world to get shocked, so instead of 18 years and above, one of the candidates went to school and got students, even if you are below the age of 18, they put them in a line, and they started to calculate each and everyone who was present. Even if you are not 18 and above, even provided the school is located in this area, it doesn't mean all students are natives of that area or are eligible to vote. So it happened to one of our candidates, and he was announced the winner of those elections. And it circulated on social media, and that was not followed in the rights of people. So even people below 18 participated in voting. So another one, right to run for an office. If you are qualified according to electoral laws, so before you contest, there is a process you follow. You present your papers, they look through into it. When they found that you are qualified, you are free to take up the position or you contest. So most of the time, that one is forward. I can grade it. So there is also right to secret ballot. Yeah, provided on some polling station where there are no discrimination or bribery is not happening, you can do that. You can have a separate ballot. You go in either base and they provide those materials. In designing, they design it that way, but the bribes that comes in, bribe for money, someone is paying something to vote, that makes people go astray or in the right procedure. So there is a right to peaceful campaign. This one is still not functioning properly in Ghana. Provided you are from opposition, you find your campaign is full of army. State, even police in Uganda, it's like not operating. It's the army everywhere. When it comes to elections, you find army everywhere. It's taking control of the process, which is wrong, I think. In the constitution, it's not like the army should take order. So we still have an issue there. So duties of the Electoral Commission. So that's an organization that heads the process of elections. So they should organize free and fair elections. It's their role. We also register voters and candidates. It should take care that voters are registered, are in voting registers. The registers are on polling stations where the voting will be. Also, it's their role to educate citizens about voting. So there are many ways how they could educate the masses or the citizens, either through the media, they can use the media, they can also go on ground, but also those politicians who have contested, sometimes they take an opportunity to tell people how they can vote. Because in voting we have valid votes and invalid votes. If people are not aware of a valid vote or invalid vote, sometimes we mess up. So they are also responsible for counting votes and announcing the results. But what is on the ground, sometimes in Uganda, we enter elections when we know who is going to be announced. That's the worst of it. And it comes from the way how that electoral commissioner, how is it chosen? It's the president who appoints the whole process. So it becomes hard for someone to come out and you announce another person. So we still have issues there. So challenges in Uganda during elections, we have a lot of challenges. I've mentioned few. One of it is corruption, voter bribery and intimidation. So money is being used as a weapon when it comes to election time. And people now are carrying bags of money, boxes of money going back to their constituency, to their districts. But the worst of it, people who are going to be paid like 5,000 Ugandan shillings, and you suffer for 5 years.
That is more.
You suffer for 5 years.
Even 1,000.
Even 1,000, yeah, they are saying even 1,000 Ugandan shillings in Kenya.
That is.
Who can put it in Kenya shillings?
2 bob.
20
Yeah, people are giving a portion on that amount. And one goes for 5 years, enjoys, nothing is doing back when it comes to development. Even in the parliament, he doesn't. Pardon?
You don't have Gen
Hey, we are Gen Zs.
That's why we are here. We need plan from you. We need plan from you. We go back, we do action.
We'll give you personal.
So that's bribery. Media bias. So, the way he explained it, he said that you post something, but in 1 hour, you are called about your post can take you.
Those are many.
There are many.
Minutes.
Yeah, so people
And
fear
I
to
come
post,
for you.
to use social media. So we still have that bias when it comes to election. People are not using the media to express their say because people are in prison because of the media. People, we don't know where they are. They are kidnapped and taken, and you can't find them because of the media. So, after I think we shall look how best can we solve these challenges. You will help us to go and report back to the country which techniques can we use when it comes to bribery. What can we do when it comes to media bias? How are you doing it? So we have exclusion, some youth and women being left out. When it comes to time for voting, some are not informed on when the voting is going to be, some are not aware, some even doesn't know the candidates, so they don't receive that information. So there is that information gap, and some are excluded in such way. Or some are picked from their home, even going on a polling station, they don't know whom to vote. You are taken sheepishly to go and vote. They just say, tick here.
Out of sleep.
Yeah. Provided you are in your ages, you will vote. I know they get for you transport, they pick you, they take you to a polling station, you vote. Because we have seen those old people coming for voting, but yet they don't know whom to vote.
Let me ask, when voting, don't you have the privacy of the individual to vote? Don't you have that privacy? Yes, you brought me, but I'm the one to choose who to vote for. I will go to the vote, to the voting booth alone. Don't you do that or?
So we do, but like those old people, sometimes they give them support.
But
I don't know, is it allowed for such old people to
But
be
of course we
supported?
have separate ballot. But you're going to vote when you have passed through a series of military operations. Where at around that you are seeing soldiers. So literally you are scared. When I vote another leader, like then there is about stuffing. They stuff those votes in the night. So coming what you vote doesn't matter. They already have votes within. So it's just a sophisticated situation.
Roy, you have a contribution there?
Yeah, I wanted to add on something. When it comes to that, like it's a secret, but of course, like you give old people, they will come for you, they take you. Of course, when that person reaches there is that committee which can operate like voting stuff. Of course, that someone can pay them a number. No, I'm going to accompany this person. You reach there, my dear, you will vote the person that person wants, no matter what.
let's say there's no right
Of
for
course,
you to choose the person not to vote.
they are there, but by that time it cannot operate, but they are there.
So there is violation of right when it comes to that process. So we have trust issues, no trust in election. Yeah, people, sometimes they announce the winners before the electoral commission does its work. They know who's going to win the election. That's the worst thing. Even if some people lose morale of participating or going to vote, because they know if this person is on ballot, nothing can change. Their vote is already there. So we have a contribution.
Yeah, and then my Kenyan colleagues, Yusuf mentioned something that they want to learn from us how to fight corruption. So,
We have an hashtag. What?
You have
Give-
it.
but you can give you an hashtag.
she asked that. That's the only way.
But we can give you an hashtag. It's a very must.
Yeah, we are coming there. This one is, we shall see on social media. When it comes to social media, how can we run those
But
things?
you
run
can't post something like that
Mm.
because
You
people
can
come for you before you then.
Yeah.
Also have issues.
You have a question? So you have security, insecurity. So violence and threats are common. They are all of the day.
So, a moment. I wanted to say another thing about trust issues, low trust in the electoral results, like what he said. I think right now we are in the campaigning period when it comes to Uganda. We are going to have our elections in January. But right now I feel people have lost morale for voting. Why? Because, let me give an example, like when it came to the last term of elections, they were like, the opposition is the one which won, and they had to announce the old man. So right now, I feel people are like, I feel there will be low participation in elections because they know the old man is coming back, and also other people are going to come. No matter what, no matter the campaigns, no matter the number of votes we take, no matter what, we know who is going to what, to win. So people have really lost interest when it comes to that.
Okay, that's our contribution on the issue. It's just maybe a reflection on democracy. Is democracy really factual? Because when elections are done, even the biggest democracies, you find that Donald Trump is complaining that the elections have been stolen from him. Even in Kenya, a big majority you find that they say that the elections are. Is it that the democracy is the people, we the people are not doing democracy right, or is democracy just a hoax that it can never work? We just keep on going and going and going and going.
Yeah. So the way you have mentioned it, democracy everywhere, even in developed countries, even in not developed countries, it's not seen or it's not observed. So I think we need more sensitization to make sure that democracy is considered, or people are empowered. They can have a say on whatever is going on how things can change, have a direction. So sensitization is still low. So
okay, I have a question for the analysis. Are you guys using democracy or?
we are using it, but achieving its results, that's when we
Because
see
you still
the gap.
in power, that's no.
I needed to be there.
Yeah.
Another thing, didn't you see? When was that time when Seven posted that Bobby wants to sell his votes? When was that?
Yeah, even them, they have tactics they
The
play.
guy posted that this guy stole my votes, you know? And in real life, it's him who stole. So,
So, yeah, you will add, but let us first get his submission. Mr. I can't record your name, so you help me. Elijah. Oh, Jonathan. Yeah. So I would like to hear from you.
Mimi naongea Kiswahili.
You speak in Swahili.
Kwa ufupi, hakuna demokrasia Uganda, na hapo hata sisi Kenya ndio sasa tuko.
He's saying there's no democracy in Uganda, so even in Kenya we are still there.
So,
Maana ukitoa pembe unakata. Same. Sasa in Kenya tumefika mahali sasa lazima ukitaka kuongea unaongea chini ya maji.
Yes.
Maana ukitoa pembe unakatwa ama unapotea. Still chenye tunaweza sema ni wenye wako huko mbele. Sahii tunaona Kenya sahii wenye wanatupea nguvu ni youth ama Gen Z. Maana wamejitoa mahali hatukuwa tumefika. Wametuonyesha imefika mahali sasa tunafuata vile wanasema, si vile sisi tulikuwa tunaambiwa. kwa maana saa hii vile kwa ile election tunaongoja 2027, nina uhakika Gen Z mkijitoa na mtupee kiongozi, wazazi wote tutavote hapo, na hapo ndio tunaongoja. Mtuonyeshe mwelekeo mwenye mtafocus, mseme ni wewe. Sisi wazazi hatuwezi kata juu, hata sisi tumechoka. Tunaongoja. Asante.
So basically what he said is that in Kenya we're in the same position, and we are looking at the Gen Zs, the young people, to spearhead the change, and that if young people come together and select a leader, even them, the older generation, will support this leader because we are the ones bringing around the democracy that's needed. But then is something else.
No, you're
Yeah, that's the summary of it.
Okay. So,
You have a submission, Ado? So, yes, we shall take those three after has submission so that we continue with the presentation. So, the gentleman there. Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to add something on the trust issues. I think Ugandans are placing too much power on your elected leaders. When it comes to democracy, I believe it's about the people giving power to their leaders. It's all about sovereignty. And I think in Uganda, you guys are missing out on the point of the power belongs to the people. I don't know about your constitution, but I know about our Kenyan constitution. It says that the sovereignty belongs to the people, meaning that the power belongs to the people. In Kenya, even though we don't have that mature democracy, but I think there are steps ahead in front of Uganda, because when it comes to Kenyan politicians, yes, sometimes they can be corrupt, but at some point you see like the Gen Zs usually come out in numbers to remind them who the power belongs to. But in Uganda, I saw the youths trying to demonstrate, but they were shut down one term demonstration. So I think it's high time the Ugandan youths, they are given that civic education so that they know that the power belongs to them. It's them that they are delegating the power to these politicians. The power doesn't belong to the politicians. The power belongs to the Ugandan citizens. So when the Ugandan citizens get to understand that, I think the issue of the trust issues are placing too much power on these politicians, and I think you will start by solving it in that way.
Yeah, thank you for the submission. And I think the representatives, we are taking the information, we are taking it back. That's why we are here. That's why we are here. Sometimes we try and we fail on the way. So we need to remove those barriers that make us slow. So, yes?
So I had a question on the previous slides that you had before, but now that you're having this conversation, I see it could be. So my question was, like, you mentioned, I understand that the program has been running maybe for a year right now, and this is the second phase. And you mentioned something about holding leaders accountable. Given the atmosphere, the temperature, electoral temperatures around Uganda, and the situation that you guys live in, how have you guys been able to like hold leaders accountable through your programs?
Yeah, thank you. So this program is designed in a way that we are targeting more of the young generation, the youth, 15 to 35, and majority are in that age bracket. Provided we sensitize them, we empower them, we influence them to use the platform they have. I think this project is helping us achieve that. When you look at the numbers on social media, people have joined the Twitter spaces, which was not common from the start, and people can use that platform. Because when we go to social media, we still have social media channels that have been brought due to government or political reasons. So we are using the available platforms to target the youth, target the men and women who can get that information or who can bring the results, positive results we need to see. So that's, I think that's how the project is helping.
Let me try and understand you. So you're saying you use you empower young people to hold leaders accountable.
Yes.
Has that been practical?
Try to go to the first slide. I maybe answer. I think last year we were here in the periodic convening, the first slide here, and it was a year immediately after that conversation, the finance bill started. So it started. One of the people we work with, actually, this is our colleague. We work with, is an activist. He's working with Women Who Said, actually. He's called One Peter. He was here. So he started also, you know, when we saw Twitter conversations, he joined Twitter conversations online from Kenya, and they were having this conversation. So we shifted the conversation to Uganda. Then we had matched parliament. That's when issues started. So they all actually abducted him, other colleagues we are working with, all these activists that we were with in the regional convening that happened in Uganda. So basically, as Yusuf said, we are empowering youth as a project. We are empowering youth activists, but also people directly we are working with on the project. They are taking part in these Twitter conversations, but also going to streets. I know the situation is too delicate, especially in Uganda, and it's hard for us to maneuver, but we are there. Yeah, but we are directly also taking it. As a project, the beneficiaries are taking it also on streets. So we are also doing there, and hopefully, we shall not stop continuing to learn from you people. That's why again we are here. Never know, another event is coming, and you will see us still on the streets. So we are also there.
Yeah, let me give one person.
Oh, I think you guys are doing a good job, because even for Gen Zs in Kenya, for most of, let me not put myself in that group, but they didn't know about the content of our finance bill. Not through the social media, like most of them didn't know. Through social media is when now someone analyzed the document, talked about the content of the document. So I think the channel that you guys have taken, it will bear fruits at some point, because if you empower, let's say for example, you empower someone, you tell her or him, you tell them that if you use a social media platform to reach other youth, or use a social media platform, it's a tool that can be used to advocate for your rights and everything. I think it's something that will bring change at long last, because even for Gen Zs, like in Kenya, for Gen Zs, maybe demonstration and everything, they use social media to mobilize, because even the meeting venue, hashtag Occupy Parliament and everything, we were seeing them through social media. And there were the other Gen Zs, they knew it, they share it, and also for them. I think something, for me, I learned about the power of social media when Gen Zs took it upon themselves to analyze the document for us. Because for us, we will you will just browse through it, but someone will take his time, go through the document, understand it. They were even having notes. They open TikTok lives and then they talk about the document. So I think the power of social media is something that if you guys have taken that path, it's something that at long last, we can't see change immediately, because this is something that you're introducing something new to your people. So it's with time, gradually it will come to a point you guys will be like us.
Thank you. So Jonathan,
unajua kulingana na Uganda tumeizoea kukuwa na madikteta kutoka Kabaka, tukakuja Idi Amin, sasa tuko na kigogo mwingine bado amekatalia. Stories za hao watu wote si mzuri. Kwa hivyo hata huyu umeona vile amefanya mpinzani wake, sasa anaozea kwa jela. Kama nyinyi youth wa huko mkomboe nchi yenu, mjaribu tu kuinuka, ingawa ule jamaa sikiangi. Unajua akisikia uko na pembe anakukata. Sasa ni ile ujumbe yani ienezwe kwa nchi nzima kwamba tunakataa uongozi wa kimambavu, ndio at least hata yeye ajaribu kupiga roho kama vile Moi. Hata sisi tulikuwa na Moi 24 years, tulikuwa na munaimba lugha moja, kama utingishi kidole unazikwa. Sasa lakini kupitia vyama mingi, mvumo wa vyama mingi iliweza tukaweza kuweka kiongozi hata kama ataenda sana ni 10 years, term 2 na anatoka. Lakini sasa kama president wenu anasema hawezi tolewa na karatasi juu aliingia na bunduki, unaona ukivoti ni kazi ya bure.
Okay, I will try. So Jonathan said Uganda seems like it has become a system that is being made by dictators from time immemorial. So he's calling upon you guys, the young people, to take charge. And then he said, what did he say? He said that it will take you guys to bring that change. Even your leaders, as they say, they cannot be removed by a piece of papers because they entered there with fighting. But you have the power to do the same. Here in Kenya, we have what we call 1 term or 2 term. A leader cannot stay in power for more than 2 terms, for more than 10 years. But yours has been there since time immemorial. But he gave a reference, even as we were there at some point, the time of Moi, because he was there for 24 years. But still, it's not too late for you guys to change the whole system again.
Yeah.
And there's also power in numbers. It's time to, for right now, like, let's say you have like a few JZs, like from maybe different districts, are calling out the out here to advocate for. But with time, you guys will have like now numbers. And for example, let's say for example, Azime Uyu, you translate that, but maybe the president abducts this group of people, but there are other people who will still speak about it, other. We'll end up not abducting the whole country. Yeah, so there is also power in numbers. With them, we will like have numbers that.
Yeah. Thank you. So,
and just to add on the what she said about the numbers, there's also power in coordination. How do we coordinate? If maybe today we plan online, we are going to occupy JKA, and then we switch to town. So they'll not be able to see how we coordinate. So we need to explore different techniques on how to carry out the movement. Yeah.
Yeah. So Elijah, so I give you the opportunity to wind it up. Yeah, winding the professor, because the professor said something, no one should add.
The is getting sweet or enjoyable. I'll just give my input, and it's not that whatever I'm saying is right, cast on stone, but from observation, first of all, to Yusuf and the team, we applaud the work, is very good, and we all start from somewhere. What we need to understand is, let me stick to East African countries. We have unique challenges. Tanzania, the way it is today, I never knew that in any time in history there will be someone being abducted in Tanzania. I think if you are keen what is happening there, you can see during the time of Julius Nyerere and the last 2 presidents, you can see people were being jailed. There is a guy called Heshe. I follow him so much. There's a time he was being trailed, I think somewhere in the sides of northwestern Tanzania. Uganda's story is also unique. Even Kenya's story is unique. We can say that we are ahead, but we have our skeletons in the closet. All these countries have issues. They might be dynamic, and I will not, like for our brothers and sisters from Tanzania, we know that for change to happen, there ought to be a political goodwill, and there ought to be some external force
even the mzee, I'm careful because you know they normally come in Nairobi and pick people.
Don't share the video, don't worry.
In Kenya right now it makes it very well. But the mzee ascending to power, he was assisted by the wife of Vesa. At that time she was in UK and she supplied armaments. So Mzee being there was assisted, which means that for anyone to be there, you will follow the letter how they fell apart and why VSJ has been disturbed from this. They were buddies at one time in the forest. There was love involved somewhere, someone felt guilted and they swore that you never get power because you took from my sweetheart. That is the difference. Also, when you come to Kenya or Tanzania, now I'll go to the last point where we say that corruption that we have that is affecting our rights, it does not start in our countries, it's starting from somewhere. There are people, if you are a president and you are abusing your own people and you are denying them rights, as long as whatever the multinationals are doing, you don't go against them. They give you the blank check to do what you want. We've been talking about democracy. There's a superpower that wanted to bring democracy in Libya. You know what happened. They have tried to bring democracy in Afghanistan. You know what is happening there. If you just decide today, follow what is happening in West Africa, there are 3 brothers, 3 countries. They have kicked the French government outside. You know what is happening. There are a lot of changes. So the aspect of politics depends with the leader. If the leader decided to ensure that systems work, they work. But he is the last person to let me say, corrupt them, it becomes very difficult. And
where we have case studies, Uganda and Kenya. It's going to cut across, go even we take it to Africa, we can look at Africa in general. So we shall look at media. When we talk media, we shall look at internet, television. Those are the channels. So take next slide. Yeah. So what's media and what's democracy? When we talk on media, we look at channels. That is newspapers, radios, TV, internet, and social media in general. So on media, it's a primary source of news and information. That's a key or main function of the media. Democracy, we talk about people vote, choose their leaders. How people vote is that side of democracy. We also look at, includes freedom of speech, rule of law, and equal rights. So some of the words I used here, they'll be presented or they will come in a form of presentation in other days or from other people, like rule of law. So, continue. So I have some statistics here. Media are the voice of people. So as the voice of people, we see 60% of Kenyans use radio as the main source of news. Is it true?
Yes.
So the majority, they use radios. Even in Uganda, we have 58% of Ugandans rely on radios as the primary source of information. So that one is from Afrobeat 2023 report. So media keeps leaders accountable. We can use the way we have had. How can we keep our leaders accountable? We can use media. It may be social media, it may be a radio program, tune in and listen to the discussions from our leaders. So we have 71% of Kenyans believe that media is effective in fighting corruption. So from the media, some believe in that. 71%, 64% of Ugandans trust media as a role in exposing corruption. we know these challenges cuts across in Uganda, Kenya, so we have different beliefs and preferences. So in Uganda, we are still low when it comes to media usage, and we know why is it like so, and we are fighting hard so that our media influence is going high or is catching up to the standards. So media educates voters. Because we are talking inside of democracy, we can use media to educate our citizens. So, for education information, media provides details about candidates and their campaigning promises. During the rallies, they normally use media as the primary source to disseminate information. So, those campaigns are recorded and aired out after. So, voter understanding, 70% of Ugandans and 68% of Kenyans says they are helped, or media helped them to understand political choices in recent elections. So, how many follow media to make choices on their leaders? Anyone who have ever made the choice to choose a leader through the media, either hearing on the speech or following the debates they normally have. So we can show of hands how many in the house. So yeah, it seems majority. So media is influencing a lot, and it's true. Also, me, I consider those podcasts. They normally do all the dialogues. In our country, we have a program on NTV, NBS. It's called Barometer. They normally bring leaders from opposition, from government, and the discussion is very interesting, so you can learn a lot. So you can look at media encouraging public debates. So those are some of debates. The first one was from Uganda. Yeah, so it was a presidential debate. And also we have a second down from Kenya. It was also presidential debate. And radio calls and Twitter spaces in both countries allow the public discuss important issues. Twitter now, I think it is massive. So anyone here who is not using Twitter, you don't use? So I think in this convening, you should have a Twitter account. You should have yourself a Twitter account. Who will help the person? You will help? Yeah. So even he's a photographer, meaning he has the content. When it comes to content, make it loud so that they hear it. So we are building transparency when it comes to media and democracy. Both countries cast parliamentary sessions live most of the time. You can access those sessions from the podcasts, either it may be on YouTube, it can be on Facebook. They normally post, if you search, there are trending things that you normally search. You search, you type whatever you need, it may be on Google, to give you a link to where you can watch, especially YouTube. So online portals provide access to budgets, laws and public services with transparency. So online portals also play that role. Citizens can track government activities and hold officials accountable. So accountability is going to run everywhere, either on social media, either on face-to-face. When leaders come to our communities, we should make sure that we make them accountable of what they are doing, how they are representing us in all ways. So challenges faced by the media. So we have violation of rights especially we common people, they violate our rights, or even those who are in media. So press freedom, we need violations. There is violation in that. For example, Ugandan journalists are arrested during election time when they're trying to cover those stories. So majority, they found their victims, and when they go into courts, sometimes things stop there. We don't know how they end. So I don't know the case here in Kenya, and I found out that Kenya shut down TV station during 2017 election. But is it true, or anyone who can remember that? So TV, yes.
Even the other day.
Even it doesn't work only in fair. Even like in our country during election, the internet really becomes hard to access internet. Internet shuts down, so information is going at a slow rate because they know media is playing a crucial role when it comes to information dissemination. It goes very fast. On a polling station, results will be known to a person in the city, to a person deep in the village, so they cut off the internet. So you receive that information after 1 week, and you can't do anything, you can't change anything. So that's how they pray when it comes to media. There is misinformation, you can go back a bit. Misinformation, fake news. Also media, don't trust any news that is posted on media. Some are fake, some are in need of follows. So someone is recording a TikTok video just to earn follows, likes, and comments, yet it's fake. So also analyze news that you read on social media. Some may be fake, some may mislead you, so we should take into consideration what we receive from Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. On any channel, we can receive wrong information. Say it's either a radio, you can receive a wrong information. So media and youth engagement. Now we know it's us youth who are using media, or we are taking a big percentage when it comes to media use. So 78% of Kenyans use smartphones for news. Yeah, majority. Anyone with a smartphone, either you are scrolling on TikTok, you will get some information or news. Ugandans, 74% access news also on a smartphone. Now things are becoming easy. Even those TV, they have those sites when you can stream live. Even if you are not in your country, you can stream live and you watch what is happening in your country. So it is playing a big role. So hashtags, you can follow the hashtags. For example, fix education in Uganda, it was a trending hashtag. Reject financial bill 2024 demonstrates. So those hashtags, even if you go now, you can read through. How can we support free media? Media, we should have support. How? So one of the way is protect journalists. So since journalists face tough times, especially during election, we should demand for their safety and freedom. It may be your tweet or your influence. You can use the media to also gain freedom for those people. So it works. We can also promote press laws. I think every country has some laws on media when it comes to media and content creation. So we have laws, we should read. We should make sure that we read. All this information is there. We can also support fact checking. For example, you receive information before pushing it. First cross check, is it true? So you can cross check those posts or that information once pass out. So media connections, media connects citizens and leaders. We can use media to connect with our leaders. So it may be hard to meet an MP or a president physically, but if you make a good craft of your post, it may reach him or they may share to him to read your post. So let us use media in a way that is professional. So here, before giving my final message, now I open the conversation with the question: how are we using the media to influence or to make change? Like here in Kenya, we can use a case study in Kenya because we are the majority. Anything special that you draft your messages, because in our introduction we have many social media handlers in the house, so they can tell us the techniques, because to run the social media there are some techniques or principles they follow. Before someone makes a post, what do you put into consideration? So anyone can share the experience, how it does. It may be your personal pages, how you handle them, or it may be the organization socials that you handle to bring out the message so that it can be meaningful, can be impactful. So I will get like 3 submissions, 2 from Kenya, 1 from Uganda. So let me start with this gentleman.
Okay, I'm making any post. First of all, you have to consider your audience. What audience do you want to appeal to? And then you tailor your content to fit that audience that you want to appeal to. And also you need to have a social media strategy for this, maybe social media campaigns, that there has to be a strategy of after this particular time, this is what we want to achieve, this is what we will be posting, this is what each and every day that we will be doing a different thing concerning the post and the cause that we are going for that social media campaign. So that is what I usually do when considering what to post. And I also add a submission considering the story of misinformation, and maybe it's a question. So how can we counter misinformation considering the inclusion of AI? Now that we can have, I can just take a picture and then make you say something that you didn't even say. I think that one is, it sounds like a maybe development, but it's counterproductive of creating free and true information. So how can we, maybe can have a conversation around that after this? How can we counter that effectively? Because I can see if politicians knew how to use AI, many old people will fall for those deep fakes.
Yeah, thank you. So, true, you have brought in good idea. AI is everywhere now. So you can make Donald Trump say something. You can make 70, they do cartoons, everything. So how do you tell? So meaning we need to know how to differentiate content AI and the real content. The synchronization in those content differ. For someone who analyzes it very well, meaning we need to analyze. You see the content, but analyzing it needs some techniques. Or like a person who knows media, meaning you have to go an extra mile to get those basics, to understand which content is crafted with AI. If you see the synchronization of the mouse and the wording, normally they don't match. That's what I know as a content creator. Is it true?
But Even if you know, you can't even tell.
You can't tell. Maybe if you don't understand.
I think the goal here should be how do we leverage on AI to disseminate accurate and correct information rather than us trying to fight AI. It's been here, just that it was locked here and we didn't know how to use it, but now it's out, allowed. So I think the issue here is how do we leverage on it and make sure that we're using it correctly to disseminate correct and accurate information rather than fighting it. We can't win.
But also, to add on Irene's submission, I think it's too critical. Misinformation and disinformation, it also comes to individual. As you said, how are you using your social media? Do you want likes, views, or what? Like in example, Uganda, I think in every month they announce Museveni dead. And if that information is on social media, if it's on social media, someone gets likes, views to million. So I think it also comes to us as individuals. You know, these days we are not relying on mainstream media to get information. It's TikTok, it is Twitter, and so it also comes to us as individuals.
But also, see, these things are posted by bloggers. So as a young person in the civic space, where do you go searching for the information?
True.
We've had Google this time immemorial, but we never used to get accurate information from Wikipedia. You know? But that's the
true.
The truth is.
So
can I add on that? So I think right now the biggest challenge that we are having in the media space is the rise of citizen journalism. I think right now everyone has a smartphone and everyone has the power to record and post anything online. You know, the big issue, it comes with the clickbait. Most people want to be the one to share out the information, to be the first ones. So if you're not keen on fact-checking the information, you'll end up consuming the wrong information. So I think as someone who's disseminating this information, you should make sure that you are sharing out credible information, research, make sure whatever you are posting is correct, make sure that you are feeding people with the correct information. Because if I come to your page today and see whatever you said, maybe you said that Museveni is dead, and then I go look at another, maybe watch news in the evening, and they are saying a different thing. So that means I lose trust in your source of information. So the next time I won't come back to your page because I know that you share out wrong information. But when you make that extra step to go research, make sure you're sharing out the correct information, people will rely on you as a credible source of news. Another thing I wanted to add is on the social media posting. So how you can maybe use your pages to post this information. So social media has a lot of tools that you can use to your advantage. There is the social media monitoring tools that you can use maybe to monitor like at what time are people consuming, what is like your target audience, the age, and how you, which will determine how you tailor your content that you are sharing. Because you can't be sharing, you can't like tailor a message the same way that you're sharing for maybe 50-year-old, you can't tailor it the same way for maybe a Gen Z. So for Gen Z, they want something that is staki kitu yenye take time. I don't want something that is consuming a lot of time, because for TikTok, it takes like 30 seconds to capture your attention. If a video is longer than 30 seconds, I'll just swipe to the next video. But when it comes to a different platform like Facebook, majority of the people that use Facebook as maybe the social media platform to get information, they are mainly the people, the millennials and the other generations going backward. Poleni, but I'm saying I'm taking the inject. So for Facebook, you can put longer posts. But when it comes to Twitter, mimi kitu kipita like 2 paragraphs, I won't read it. So the way you tailor messages for Twitter, Facebook and TikTok are different. For Facebook, you can use, right now they have added the feature of using videos accompanied with the messages. But for TikTok, you have to just post a video, make sure that video has all the information that I need. When it comes to Twitter, you can also use videos, but in Twitter, what works best is the writings. Make sure that they are short and they contain, they are concise, straight to the point. So I think you should be monitoring like your social media pages, the kind of content that you're posting and the kind of audience that are targeting it, and also fact checking the information that you're sharing out with the people. Yes.
I think we are on the same line. So for us we know those things, but are we helping the people down there to be like us? Because here you may find that we are posting very well, we are doing good, but